just wants some money. And that's kind of where we're at now. I don't think it's actually been in the courts yet. I think it's coming in 2025, I think. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is I want to get to how your involvement is in with the story with Forrest Fenn.
Okay. Well, I knew nothing about it when that whole chase thing had begun.
Okay.
I don't even think I was aware of it until, we were in Yellowstone in the wintertime, had some friends getting engaged, and Stephen Weckworth proposed to his fiance in front of Old Faithful with a whole group of friends out there. We're getting snowed on and everything. It was cool. We went out there on snowmobiles, and we're in the middle of the park. That day started at like 3 a.m. And so anytime you go out west like that, I mean, we instantly fell in love with that part of the country. It was
just beautiful there.
Awesome. And, I wanted to know more about the Rocky Mountains. I come home and, just trying to learn about the geography. What else is out there? That was beautiful. We went skiing at Teton Village in Jackson Hole. And I guess that's probably how I even came across it. But, Legend of this gold hidden somewhere in the Rockies, right? And if you can just read this poem, at first, the first book, there was no map.
Right.
And there was no boundaries. It was just,
I think it said from Mexico to Canada. It's basically what it said, right?
somewhere north of Santa Fe,
right?
New Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty vague.
Yeah.
And then, so he thought it was he got a chuckle out of it, Forrest Fenn. Just reducing, well, don't go to the Canadian Rockies, right? Like, stay in our Rockies.
Yeah.
A second book came out. I really, honestly, in hindsight, I do believe Forrest Fenn thought this was something that would be solved relatively soon. I don't think he ever planned on doing the second book or the third. But instantly you hear of that, and that's a weird story. And everybody's first reaction is, why would anybody do that?
Well, not only that, before you spend your time, effort, and money into doing something like that, are you really going to go do that with some guy saying, hey, this is what I did? I mean, is it true? I mean, if he would have sent a picture or, hey, I do have these means, this is what I have, the box that's going in, it's for real. You don't need to, Right. So I got to see that where people would be hesitant to be like,
absolutely.
Is he
and so,
lying?
Now I'm catching up on 3 years worth of interviews that had transpired.
Yeah.
New clues. There's second books out. And the books were only being sold in a local, to him, there in Santa Fe, local bookstore called Collective Works. And, I could read this whole poem and everything. It probably only makes sense for anybody that at least read about all this first, or maybe glanced through a book or knew anything about, some of his interviews. But he was a fighter pilot in Vietnam. He was a flight instructor and everything. He was kind of like an ace, really. And he got shot down twice, but one he was able to tail hook a landing on a runway that I didn't realize, until later, that could have technically been the end of his career. Just, the stress it puts on your back. Right. Mm-hmm. And then the second time he got shot down was, over Saipan, Laos, and that was at a time when the country was saying we weren't even over there.
Right.
We aren't doing anything in Laos. They were bombing the hell out of Laos. I think it got more bombs than any other war in that one area.
Yep.
The biggest part of that book, when you go back and you research it, he has all these little funny stories when he's a kid and these things that make you think, right? But then it's, bam, 4 pages of my war story, and it was literally called My War for Me.
Yeah.
And he was making it sound like this was this just really nice, unexpected chain of events. But to me, I'm picking up all the emotions in between, like survivor's guilt, PTSD, looking back and, even getting lied to about his bosses. And he didn't want to know how many people he had hurt or killed, and now you're talking about an old man. And the very first intro to that whole poem is why am I doing this? But to me, it all linked up to his Vietnam story, and through the landscape and through the images that he was drawing in this book, the treasure chest was called an indulgence.